Hey you, thank you so much for clicking on this video. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about some bitter truths. If you're someone who's out there looking for a partner and looking for a relationship, you might want to take this video with a grain of salt because this video might be a difficult pill for you to swallow. Having said that, through this video, I'm not trying to discourage any person from seeking a meaningful and long-term relationship. This video actually may be very helpful for someone who is seeking a serious or a long-term relationship. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 very clear signs that tell that you are not ready for a serious relationship. And the same signs can go for your potential partner as well. So if you're someone who wants to analyze whether the person in front of you is really meant for you or not and is really ready to take your commitment to the next level, you may want to know about these 5 very clear signs. So here we go. So the first and foremost sign which tell that you're not really ready for a serious commitment or a serious relationship is your priorities. And if you want to evaluate whether the person in front of you is really serious about a relationship, you may want to discuss with them about their priorities. So when I say priorities, I really mean where is most of your time and energy really going? Which stage of life are you really at right now? Are you at a stage where you have to build your life, build your career, build your future? Are you someone who is currently investing a lot of time into building skills or finding ways to make money or building a secure future for yourself? Are you someone who is prioritizing growth over stability? Are you someone who is prioritizing spending time into work rather than spending time with a person? You may want to evaluate that before stepping into a commitment, because a relationship, especially if we talk about a serious relationship, it requires a lot of investment from both the parties. It requires you to invest a lot of your time. It requires you to invest a lot of your emotions and energy and resources. And if your priority is not building a relationship, you may be in a position where you are not really available for building that. So yeah, the first and foremost evaluation that you need to do is where your priorities lie. So the second sign that you need to look out for is intent. When I say intent, I mean why do you want to get into a relationship with someone? And you need to answer this question to yourself in all honesty. If you're also someone who wants to know if your partner is really looking for a serious relationship, you might want to ask them this in all honesty, that what's your intent behind getting into a relationship with me? Before you get into any kind of relationship, you need to ask yourself whether it is a serious relationship that you're looking for, or whether it is just a casual fling that you're looking for. Are you getting into a relationship because you feel this void that you need to fill through a person? Are you getting into a relationship because you feel lonely? Are you getting into a relationship just because you need help with work or with, your daily life? Are you someone who's getting into a relationship because you see other people around you who are in loving relationships and that just makes you feel insecure? Are you someone who is giving into peer pressure or pressure from family while getting into a relationship? So all of that is intent. And I would say that if you're getting into a relationship with the wrong intent, the relationship is not going to last, or it's not going to work in the long run. When I say the wrong intent, I really mean the intent which has hints of selfishness in it. So a very good way of finding an intent that is selfish is when you look back at that intent, does it really account for the other person as well or not? Or does it only account for you and your needs? So if that intent only accounts for you and a certain need of yours that need to be filled or need to be catered to, that intent is a selfish intent. Having said that, I'm no expert, but I do know that selfish intents do not account for a serious or a long-lasting relationship. All right, moving on to the third sign, and the third sign is acceptance. So when I say acceptance, I mean how much of yourself have you accepted and how much of other people around you are you willing to accept. Acceptance is a lot more important than understanding ourselves because it brings us at peace with ourselves. It also brings us at peace with how other people really are. And when we are at peace with ourselves and with other people around us, we don't really feel the need to change things around us, or we don't really feel the need to change ourselves for someone. So if you want to know how much you have really accepted yourself, in all honesty, one very clear sign that I can give you is evaluate how do you act when you are around other people versus how you really are when you are with yourself. And what is that difference? Like, how much is that difference? What is the gap? How big is that gap? If you've not accepted yourself for who you are, you may constantly feel the need to change yourself. You may constantly feel the need to bend and break your back just to be in the relationship. And if you're not accepting your partner for who they are, they might feel suffocated in the relationship, or they might feel that you want to change them. Also, acceptance is the first step towards change. When you meet a part of yourself that you have never met before and you don't really like, if you accept that part of yourself, that opens a choice for you whether you want to change that part of yourself or whether you want to carry that part of yourself throughout life. So that is why acceptance is very important, because the parts that we don't like about ourselves, we can never change those parts until and unless we accept those parts as our truth. So you firstly need to accept yourself for who you are, and if you've not, you might not be ready for a serious relationship. All right, moving on to the fourth sign. So the fourth sign is our ego and our awareness of our ego. This sign is very important to watch out for, especially during arguments in the relationship, because any argument can literally make or break your relationship. And that is why it's very important to know if we are fighting for our ego or if we are fighting for our relationship. And a very simple way to know whether you are fighting for your ego is to see if you are fighting to win the argument rather than solving the problem. If it's all you do all the time, that during every argument all you fight for is winning the argument, you might not be ready for a relationship. Another situation where ego shows up is during our need for approval. So if you're someone who's always seeking praise from other people, if you are always seeking approvals from other people, you may not be ready for a relationship, because you might be getting into relationship just to get approval from your partner, and that is not the right intent, like I said. All right, moving on to the fifth sign. And the fifth sign that you need to watch out for is your seriousness, especially seriousness towards life itself. How seriously do you take yourself or other people around you? And by that, I'm not trying to say that stop taking everything seriously and just wing it, but sometimes we need some levity in our life, especially during rough times or bad times. We don't have to take ourselves so seriously all the time. And if you're someone who takes yourself seriously all the damn time, you may not be ready for a relationship yet. A relationship can sometimes test you, it can bring out the worst in you, it can lead to rough patches that you don't really want to deal with. And during those times, if you take everything way too seriously than you should, it just gets so burdensome. Sometimes all we need is to just have some laughs, to have some levity in our life. It's okay to be made fun of sometimes. It's okay to have a little humor in your relationship. And if you're someone who isn't comfortable with levity and with humor and with being made fun of every once in a while, I don't think that you are ready for a relationship yet. Especially the times in a relationship where everything is testing you. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched till the end, I hope that through this video you gained some perspective on whether to enter a serious relationship just yet, and whether you're really ready or not. And if you really want to be ready, these are some things that you can work on just to be ready. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care.